Hi everyone! So, today we are diving into one of the most musical parts of English pronunciation, which is intonation. And more specifically, we will explore one of the most expressive tone in English, the rising tone, also known as a rise. For this topic, we are going to use as a reference the book English Intonation: An Introduction by the author J.C. Wells. So, what is a rising tone? A rising tone simply means that your voice goes up at the end of a phrase. You start at a low or medium pitch and then your voice rises like this. Are you coming? See how my voice goes up at the end? That's a rise. According to the author J.C. Wells, this happens when the pitch moves upward through the nucleus, which is the most important syllable in the sentence, is the one that carries the main stress. So, when do we use the rising tone? We usually use this tone in three main situations. The first situation with yes or no questions. For example, are you coming? Do you like coffee? Your voice goes up because you want an answer. Number 2, surprise or disbelief. For example, you did what? It shows emotion or curiosity. And the third situation, when you want to show politeness or uncertainty. For example, maybe we could meet up later. It softens your speech and it sounds less direct. So, the rising tone helps to express emotion, curiosity, and interaction. It's not just melody, it's communication. How does it work? In English intonation, the nucleus is the part where the tone change begins. In this sentence, for example, you want to talk to who? The nucleus is who. That's where the voice rises. The words before are called the pre-nuclear part. They stay more or less flat, and the rising tone happens only on who. So, when identifying the tone, we ignore the earlier words, and the rise happens at the nucleus. When a nuclear rise begins, the author explains that there's often a step down in pitch. That means, right before your pitch rises, your voice suddenly drops a little at the start of the nuclear syllable. For example, chicken. Notice how it starts slightly lower on chick and then goes up through N. Chicken. Even though the tone rises overall, it begins from a slightly lower pitch, and that's the step down. What happens if there is a tail? If the sentence continues after the nucleus, those extra syllables are called the tail. In a rising tone, the pitch doesn't rise all on the nucleus. It rises over the nucleus and the tail. Let's look at this example. All of us? The main stress is on all, but the pitch continues to rise through the tail of us. Even though us isn't accented, is the highest pitch at the end. That's why learners sometimes think the nucleus is at the end, but it's actually earlier. Now let's compare with a falling tone, which does the opposite. Let's see this example. Her name's Melpomene. See the backlash? That shows a falling tone. The pitch drops on pomene. If it were a rising tone, it would sound like a question or a check. For example, her name is Melpomene. Totally different meaning, right? The melody changes the attitude. So, to wrap it up, a rising tone is when your pitch goes up at the end. It is used in yes or no questions, to show surprise or politeness, and it rises through the nucleus and sometimes through the tail. Remember, intonation isn't just sound, it's meaning, attitude, and emotion. Next time you listen to native speakers, pay attention to how their voices move up and down. It's like English has its own melody. It flows through the words.